Fire Rock Zone. Kawan J.
DJ One. It's the group, homie. The mixtape show.
Fire Rock Zone. Kawan J.
DJ One. It's the group, homie. The mixtape show. The mixtape show.
All right. Welcome back to the Mixtape Show. It is time for hour number 2. We're going to kick it off with a really dope guest. This person is like a ghost in the night. We know the name. We know the name, but she's just, pulling all the strings in the back, man. She's a friend of the show. She got her fingerprints all over the Mixtape Show, all over Kawan J Radio. Fingerprints over a lot of people's careers that I rock with, that who are very appreciative of her work. She's a multi-award-winning Publicist of the Year, dope writer, and just a hip-hop head all in general, man. Welcome to the show. We got Miss MJ Savino of MJ's Hip Hop Connects finally on the Mixtape Show. How you doing, sis? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Yo, I love that intro. I feel so special.
You like that? Okay, I'll isolate that and I'll send that to you.
I love it. I'm so hyped to finally be on the show.
Definitely, man. I don't even know how long it's been since we've been rocking together. It's been a while, maybe 3 to 5 years.
It's been a
somewhere
while.
around
It's
there,
been
yeah.
some years.
Yeah,
some years.
I don't-
Definitely.
And honestly, I have no idea how you found us. But that's
Me either.
that's just what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Me either.
So, I like I said, MJ Savino, she out the blue one day reached out to us, and then God puts people in your life at the perfect time, because I was just transitioning over to being a strictly independent radio show, because I was just doing just a strictly hour mix show. And then we started just getting a lot of dope independent entries, and then I was just like, wait a minute, we need to expand this a little bit. And literally within a week of me making that declaration, I get an email from you asking about, do I do interviews with artists? And I was like, well, hell, I was thinking about doing that anyway, so this is a sign that I need to do it.
Yes, definitely.
So let's talk about Miss MJ Savino, publicist, hip hop head, writer, mom, superwoman. Doesn't get any sleep. So how do you do that? How do you balance all those plates and spin all those plates?
You know what's crazy, because everyone asks me that question. I think I don't think there's really an answer for that. I think you just kind of do it. I mean, I am a woman, and we can multitask.
Yes.
It's just in our nature. And I'm also a single parent, so I think all of that combined, I don't really have time to sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, this is my balance. I just kind of do what I do. It flows and it works. I mean, it's hectic, but that's the business, that's the industry. But I definitely won't change anything.
I hear that.
And now that little MJ is getting older, she's like my little assistant.
Yeah. free labor, right? Kind of, sort of.
Yes, that's right.
So how did you get started? What was it? What did it start off on the writer part as far as getting into the industry?
Yeah, I would definitely say writing. I've always been a writer. I've been a published writer since I was like 9 years old. So poetry and writing has always been dear to my heart, and so is music. By profession, though, I was a social worker for about 15 somewhat years. But on the side, I was doing some writing for some blogs. And then I think at the time I was 15, 16 years into social work, I just said, you know what? It's time for a change. I think I need to just take a leap of faith and do this music thing full time, because the blog, it just kind of grew, the blog writing, and then artists were hitting me up for interviews and for promo. And then I was getting major artists were reaching out to me. So it became too much to be doing both. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to take a leap, and I'm just going to jump into this MJ Hip Hop Connects. And it kind of just took off. Thank God.
and MJ's Hip Hop Connects pays the bills 100%, right?
Yes, it does. And
Wow.
you know what? It's funny because the world of social work is similar to the world, the industry music, because it's so chaotic. I mean, I had a caseload of like 20 people on my caseload. It's the same thing with the music industry. I work with about 15, 16 indie artists, and I have major artists that I work with. There's radio campaigns, there's blogs, there's magazine, there's promo. It's everything. And you also, with the independent artists, you have that connection with them where you work with them from the very beginning. So you get to see their growth and you get to see their progress. And that part's really rewarding. And that's kind of like social work too, when you're working with clients. And so everything kind of ties in. So I think that mindset just kind of followed me from social work into the music industry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier. I was gonna say, man, social worker and publicist is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's lots of hand holding along the way.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes.
and when you and how long has that been official that you've been doing this officially? How many years again?
So MJ's Hip Hop Connects, I think, officially launched it full time. Oh man. What year are we in? I don't even know where we're at.
21.
21?
Yeah, 21.
So I want to say maybe 213.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 213.
Yeah, and as a male dominant industry, and then a woman comes in there and just bullyfooting everybody in the industry right now. How does that for you? Do you have to be a little bit extra aggressive with being the woman in the industry, or are you at the point now where, I mean, everybody knows you? Like when I bring up MJ Savino, everybody's like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. But at the beginning stages, how hard was that for you to make that name for yourself?
I think because I had the history of the blogs behind me. For some of the bigger blogs, my name was a little bit already out there. I really didn't have a problem trying to fit into male-dominated industry, again, because I came from the social work world. I, worked in drug and alcohol programs. I worked with gangs. I worked with a little bit of everything. So me having that strong, mental and not letting people push me around, it kind of just followed me into the music industry. Yeah.
And then you being an East Coast,
and again also being a single parent, so the strength is just there. Yeah.
And then being from the East Coast that helps a little bit too, right?
Of course.
That little hard nose, the hard nose thing you gotta be sometimes.
Absolutely. So I will stick one of my Tims in somebody's ass with equipment.
I know. I get those emails sometimes. I get it. I'm like, MJ, they didn't show up. What? All right, hold on.
Yeah.
So who's the first big client for you that made you really like, wow, this is what I want to do, and I know I made the right decision because blank reached out to me to represent them?
It's funny, actually, the very, very first interview that I did was on Rampage. And that's going way back to like 2009 or 2010. And we've just had a relationship ever since then. So, he was always in the background, plugging things into my ear too. Because at one point I was kind of unsure. I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll just stick to social work. It's what I do. It's what I'm good at. It's what I know. I don't know about just, hanging that up and jumping into this. Again, I'm a single parent. I have mouths to feed, et cetera, et cetera. So he was kind of like always rooting for me. So once that happened, I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I just started grinding, like around the clock, 24/7, the blogs, the interviews, the promo, all that stuff. And then Mike Hands reached out to me because we've have a long business relationship as well, saying, that Billy Danz has a few things going on. He needs a publicist. He's going to be calling you in 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. So then it just kind of was a snowball effect after that. Yeah. Really, that's what it was, a snowball effect. And then Dan's, reached out to some people who needed PR and they called me. So that's pretty much how the celebrity aspect of it came. I would say it definitely started for Ramp.
Nice. And on a monthly basis, what would you say your average clientele would be? How many artists do you represent probably in an average month?
Right now, I have about 15 artists I'm working with on an indie level. And then I have, my Legends crew. So that's Rampage, that's Dan's, it's Fredro Starr, it's Drez, it's MC Shan I just picked up, Special Ed. So it's that crew. And then it's, people that just hit me up for random things, for blog placement, magazine placement, social media placement. So it's kind of hard to average the number of artists that I work with, but it's a lot.
Yeah, well, we don't want to scare you. We don't want you to sit down and actually have to write that down. Nice. And so if you have an indie artist who comes to you first, is there a and I'm asking these questions for the artists out there listening, because I'm very selfish and stingy with a lot of my people, connections, because I don't want anybody to come through and misrepresent me. You know what I'm saying?
Course.
And
Absolutely.
because I know people come to me all the time, and I try to kind of weed them out first before I even mention your name with anything, because I'm like, I don't want you wasting my time. I definitely don't want you wasting her time. So is there a process for you when an artist comes to you and they want representation? Do you kind of check them out first, social media, and see kind of how they move and all that stuff?
Yes. So if it's an artist coming to me who doesn't have a team at all, then there's that whole conversation of, artist development, prepping them for interviews, all that kind of stuff. If it's an artist coming to me who already has a team behind him, then I try to get on the phone with that team so we're all on the same page. Because every artist knows that once I stamp my logo and my name on it, that's a big deal. Because reputation is everything. So that's pretty much how I do that. And then listening to the music, I'm able to gear them in the right direction. Luckily I write for several different blogs and magazines, so if I have an artist who's strictly boom bap, then I'm going to gear him into the stations that a benefit for him, and same with the blogs, etc., etc. I'm not going to send a trap artist, to Flip the Script Radio or something like that. So it's just making sure everyone's on the same page, trying to, gauge where their mental is at too, if they're going to be okay with, hearing not so much criticism, but, taking advice, and, how they're able to gauge guidance and all that kind of stuff. Because some artists on the come up just think they know everything.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to that artist, not all money is good money. Yeah. I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's dope. Because I, like I said, I definitely get a lot of people asking me about you, and they say, what's up with MJ? What's up? What's this? What's that? I'm like, I don't know, Chief. You know what I'm saying? Because I barely, I'll go on some artist page where they claim they're an artist, and I'm scrolling, and I'm 10 posts down before they even talking about their music, and I'm like, well,
exactly. and that's a conversation I have with a lot of artists too. If I go on your social media page, I don't see nothing. I see what you're cooking for dinner. I see, where you're going in your car, but I don't see nothing that says you're an artist. So there's a lot of that in the initial stages.
Have you had an artist where at the beginning you kind of took a chance on, not take a chance, but it just kind of like you had the gut feeling like, I don't know, but they surprised you, where it was like, oh, okay, maybe they are built for this?
No, not yet.
Always trust your gut, right?
Sad?
Yeah.
It really is sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy because I work with a lot of different artists. I work with a lot of older artists that, do the classic music, the boom bap, throwback vibes and all that. I also work with, a lot of the newer artists too that, have the trap music. So I work with a lot of different artists. Some people that are strictly just, lyrical storytellers, different.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to their attitude. If their attitude is not right, again, I'm not going to stamp my name behind it. If they're willing to listen, to other people and other artists and me, to kind of guide them, then that's a different story. But
yeah,
it's hard.
It is. And I tell people all the time too, just because you got a connection, you still got to work the plug. You know what I'm saying? Just getting the plug isn't nothing. You actually got to do the work too. So me, with my people, like for instance, I'm proud of my man Jay Waiters.
Absolutely.
We picked him up, not picked him up, but we started kind of working with him. Me and Rex was working with him about maybe 2 years now, and he was in a situation where it was kind of like that. It was kind of like he was kind of making a name for himself, but we kept seeing him kind of run his head into the wall a few times on some stuff, and finally Rex was like,
Right.
let's talk to this brother and let's get him ready. So before we even got him to you, we had to get him right and get him straight. And I had that talk with him before. I was like, okay, now you can reach out to MJ, because I was like, you got to be ready to work, because she gonna have you working. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity for you. This is connections. You know what I'm saying? You're paying for great connections, so take advantage of every connection that goes your way and work the plugs and work these connections, man. And I'm just seeing my brother do thing with John Jiggs and doing some other stuff that he told me about. I don't know if he wanted to make public that he working on, and I'm just I'm proud of him, and then it's fun to see you work with him, and it's fun to see like good people work with him. Tech Force, another guy that we connected. And you know, we got my man Rex about to come around the corner real soon, and you're gonna work on his project. And I'm sure if I had him on the phone right now, he'd give you an earful about how much he wants to work with you. So it's definitely gonna be a fun situation. So definitely.
And kudos to you for Jay Waiters, because he's phenomenal. He's
dope.
Absolutely phenomenal.
He's dope. I tell him
really
I tell him you're an anomaly right now, because you're a true R&B artist, and that doesn't really exist no more. So you need to definitely take advantage of that right now, and let people know. Go back to what we used to call it, baby making music. That's what it used to be called.
Yes. We need that.
Exactly. So definitely. So since COVID has come, has business changed at all? Have you had to kind of adapt your business model, or did business pick up for you because everybody's in this house now?
Business actually picked up a lot during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because so many people were, out of work, they kind of use it to their advantage to put out music and projects and, other things. So it definitely picked up during COVID, which was kind of a challenge, because at that time, for the majority part of COVID, my daughter was home. So I was doing the whole homeschooling thing.
Yeah, that's a beating, isn't it? It's a beating.
Listen.
Yeah.
That was some talk about challenge. I think that's the biggest challenge. If you ask me anything about the music industry, that was my biggest challenge.
Yes, it was. I feel your pain. We had a kindergartner start this shit, so that was a beating. I was like, I can't do it. As soon as they can go back, he going back. I don't care.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Give him a mask, a turban, and everything else. Send him to school.
Everything. Hazmat suit, whatever she needs. Her ass is going.
Exactly. So when we say publicist, what does that actually mean? I should ask this at the beginning, but when as an artist, if you're saying, man, I want a publicist, what would that actually mean and tell? What was a publicist?
And it's funny, because a lot of times artists will say, I need a publicist, without even knowing what a publicist is or what their role is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what cracks me up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that a publicist does everything. And I'm very, very firm in me staying in my lane as a publicist.
Mm-hmm.
So for me and MJ's Hip Hop Connects, that's artist development. It's social media development and social media management.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have distro, getting them set up with distro.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting them into blogs. It's getting them into magazines. It's doing radio campaigns with blast and radio interviews. It's pretty much everything that's going to keep them relevant and consistent in the public eye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much what we do. Appearances. We can also put together events or listening sessions and listening parties.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the only thing that I don't do is, the management and the book and show booking.
Gotcha.
That's what I don't do.
Gotcha. But you're the hip hop.
So an on-point artist, well-rounded artist really needs to have a team of a publicist, a manager, and a booking agent.
There you go. Booking agent's important, especially now that everything's opening back up. You better get you one quick, fast, and in a hurry, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're an artist that's really just starting out, like maybe you just only have one track or one video, you don't necessarily need a publicist right away.
Exactly. I always say at least have an EP out, so you can have some sort of body of work, so people can actually go through the tracks.
Yeah.
But you're the hip hop Swiss Army knife. If you don't have it, somebody that does. Because I know I've come to you many a times. Like, I need this. Do you know anybody? Yep. Hold on.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things that I take pride in. I'm not one of these janky people out here that if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm going to say, "Yep, I absolutely can." I'll be quick to say, "Nope, I absolutely can't," but let me refer you to somebody who can.
Definitely. Now that things are opening up, does MJ's Hip Hop Connects have any outside things planned business wise, like some shows or maybe some like you said, listening sessions with some of your artists?
Yes, we have some listening sessions coming up yet. I can't give out those details just yet.
Don't do that.
I'm going to be planning a surprise party for a major celebrity as well. I can't.
Somebody.
Obviously, it's a surprise party, so I can't give details on that.
No, don't tell me.
And definitely getting back to Philly, New York, hosting some events. I'm excited about that.
Dope. Well, I think I told you off air that I'll be in town next month with the family. I'm gonna try to get away for at least a day with my camera and microphone, and maybe link with you to see who's available out there.
Yes.
Then me and my crew is gonna make a circle back trip, hopefully in August, end of August.
Oh wow! Okay.
On some business stuff. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of us coming up real soon. On some awesome business stuff. So I definitely, like I said, MJ, I consider you one of my mentors in this industry. Because like I said, whenever I was thinking about doing certain things, whether I told you or not, you always kind of suggested that stuff without suggesting that stuff. And you've taught me definitely a lot about interaction with certain artists and how to interact with certain people and artists and stuff like that without telling me or without me asking. It's just kind of like how you move, and I study a lot of the ways that you move, and I know I've come to you a few times frustrated with some people about some things, and you kind of talk me off the ledge on some stuff because it's been some times where I was ready to air it out, and you were like, "No, don't do that. Just stay in your lane." So,
never let them see you sweat.
Exactly. So I definitely appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate your partnership and what you do for us here. And the door's always open, and you're one of the first people I come to whenever anything's open, interview wise and vice versa. And I just love what you do, and I thank you and my team. Thanks you for everything you do for us personally and business wise down here.
I appreciate that so much, and likewise, you've been incredible to every single artist that I've brought your way.
Yeah.
No hesitation, no questions asked. You guys are incredible.
Thank you. And like I said, hopefully we can get together soon and put together a party or something, and put together some sort of show or something. We got to figure something out soon because I
think that's much needed.
I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to get out. Definitely. So social media, it's and your website. How can we contact you if we want to?
Yes. So social media is MJ's Hip Hop Connects. That's with an X at the end, and that's across the board on all social media. You can find my, as I call, flashback interviews on celebrities that I've done on Mixcloud. That's also MJ's Hip Hop Connects with an X. My website is mjshiphopconnects.biz. And then I also have a blog site, which is mjshconnects.blogspot.com. My email is mjspokenword@gmail.com. You can also just Google me. I'll pop up. MJ's Hip Hop Connects will pop up. But definitely social media, MJ's Hip Hop Connects, again with an X, and that's across the board on everything. The artists, if you're out there, definitely check out the social media platforms, like the pages. She gives out a lot of free information is given out through those social media and connections. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. But if you're a sucker, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Indeed.
Definitely. MJ, man, I appreciate you calling in. This is long time due, but like I said, definitely next time we'll do this face to face, and then we'll just keep building on what we got, man. I definitely appreciate everything you do for us. All right.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Not a problem. Let's get into this Foul Villain, Street the Villain and Foul Slurs. It's called If I Was Rich, new joint that they got, and we will be right back.
Hey, what up? This is MJ with MJ's Hip Hop Connects, and I'm rocking with Queen's finest, DJ Kawan.